It is now that time of the year that whenever it gets to the late afternoons, it begins to get cold, like freezing. I do have a gas heater, but I've been trying to turn it on for the past 3 days or something. It's not turning on. I don't know if it's broken, and yet it's still new. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but anyways, I'll figure it out. So, in case you are looking at this, yeah, I don't like the cold. I was born in winter, July 14th. Wink, wink. Okay, let's get a little bit serious because I got some wind that there was a bunch of women married to foreign nationals, particularly Nigerian men, that marched the streets of Durban in their bras. In my head, I'm like, yeah, these people, they like appropriating things. The marching with bras, if you remember, women in the 1950s, I think it was 1956, Black South African women went to march against Botha, wearing just bras to the union buildings to get the itompas to be removed because it was dehumanizing. So they marched to Pretoria, the union buildings. So now these people doing the same thing, I don't know who they're sending this message to, because at the end of the day, you are a married woman and you know that you are of your husband's family. You can never run away from this, especially when it's done by Zulu women. Zulu women know this very well. As a Zulu woman, you know, Ugutsanege, before you even get married, you have to go live with your in-laws for 6 months. It's called ukotiza. Because I don't know where you come from, who taught you, who raised you, you now want to flip the culture. That's not going to happen. You are no longer of the Zulu nation. You are now of your husband's nation. I don't know whether that is the Igbo or that's the Yoruba or Hausa, whatever it is. You no longer, culturally speaking, futhi wena umZulu. You know this. But no, you want to take to the streets and try and manipulate the culture. But that's not what I want to talk about. I do want to link what I'm saying to what I'm about to ask women. Women that lost children, women that have children on the streets, ba mapara. Counteract this much. Go show these women, because most of them, their husbands sell white powder, and these women know this very well. They know this very well. The reason why they stood up and took to the streets is because suddenly now their food has been threatened in the killing of our children. If you lost a child, or you have a child on the streets because of white powder, you take to the streets and demonstrate to these women and show them what their husbands have done to you. Whether you march with your bras or you march fully clothed, but let them know what they want is not going to happen. And on top of that, we need to get a female culturalist, somebody that understands our culture, to also educate these women that, ma'am, you are now an Igbo woman. You are now a Yoruba woman. You are no longer a Zulu woman. It's our culture. You can't change it. So when you are taking to the streets and you are marching and you are saying, leave our husbands alone, you are saying we must leave your husbands who are killing the future of this country. You know it. You know what they are doing. Unless you can produce us your husband who is a corporate person, wakes up every morning, goes to an office to work, comes back, and then contributes positively into the economy of this country because he's legally here. That's the first thing. I'm not going to talk about he's legally here because he married you. No, we're no longer talking that language. You are no longer of here. And he's definitely not of here. That is one of the things that we are going to change in the immigration law. There is no way that you are going to change our culture. No way. We cannot allow that. And if you say your husband is a businessman, we want to see his tax number. How has he been contributing to the economy of this country by paying taxes through his business? His tax clearances, you name it. The 5 million rand that he also invested into the South African economy for opening that business. We want to see all of that. I guess that's when the lights will go off because they don't have all of these things. But you want us to leave them alone to continue breaking the laws of this country. Uyagula sis. Ukulukula kwangempela. Yakwazi ukugula, awuyahlanya. You are not going to demonstrate against us and try and change our culture. That's not going to happen. Oh, that's not going to happen, Sisi. Because your foreign man who is illegally in the country sent you out on the streets and then you appropriate an event in our history. Aniyadelela ubuhlaza le nto emnyenzile, and it's not going to happen again ever. So that is why women, that includes sisters, that includes omzala who are women, take to the streets and show them. If you have photos of your babies, take them to the streets and show these women what their husbands have done to your family, what they've taken from your family, what they are taking from your family. That's so bona tin. That's so bona. You answer bona bala. You can deny this all you want. It's culture. You chose that. It's not accidental. You chose that. You willingly said, I do, to a foreign man. The moment you did that and a ring went in your finger, you are no longer of your family. Now, there's another thing that I want to address in this video. Jacinta Ngobese Zuma is being likened by Nigerian media as the daughter of the former president, Jacob Zuma. And this is coming, by the way, from people who are supposed to do their due diligence, do a background check before they actually open their mouth. A whole spokesperson of the Nigerian foreign minister says that Jacinta Ngobese Zuma is the former president of the Republic of South Africa's daughter, Jacob Zuma. With confidence, with his full chest, and the news station that he's having this conversation with doesn't say, hang on a minute, because they also did not do the research. They say, hang on a minute, no, she's not the daughter of Jacob Zuma. Now, let's set the record straight. Jacinta Ngobese, that's her maiden name, Ngobese. Now, the Zuma part is hyphenated because she is married into the Zuma. She's not a daughter of Jacob Zuma. She's a Ngobese. But to you and me, she's Mrs. Zuma, married to the Zuma. Get that straight. But I feel like there's some bit of education opportunity here about South Africans. And I did say, every misinformation you put out there about us, we are going to correct it to expose what liars you guys are and illiterates on top of that. And proof is in the pudding. In South Africa, we are very proud of our cultures. I just said about those women married to Nigerians and all that. We pride ourselves with our culture. You cannot dilute our culture. You cannot add or subtract to our culture. We will defend our culture to the last breath we have in our body. Men, especially Black South African men, they are the custodians of their respective cultures. Now, let's start here, and I'm going to say this as simple as possible without making this complex for you to understand because you are illiterate. Here's the thing about South Africans, Black South Africans. Black South Africans have nations. You have the Zulu nation, you have the Xhosa nation, you have the Pedi nation, you have the Bavenda nation, you have the Tswana nation, the Sotho nation, you have the Ndebele nation, the Swati nation, which other nation that I'm leaving out? Which other nation? Oh, and then, of course, we have whites, which are divided into English and Afrikaans. But I'm going to focus only on Black nation. But I'm going to focus on my nation, the Zulu nation, because I don't want to speak for other nations and I might get things wrong. But I want to speak about my nation, the Zulu nation. We have a king right here. We have a king. He's the Zulu king. And underneath our Zulu nation, we have tribes. Yeah, I know. Some people are like, but I thought Zulu was a tribe. No, we are a nation. The Dumakute are a tribe. The Zuma are a tribe. The Dlamini are a tribe. The Stole are a tribe. So when you come across a surname, like for example, Dumakute, me, and then you come across another Dumakute, there are very high chances that me, this Dumakute, and a Dumakute you met, we've never met before. We don't even know of each other's existence, but we share the same surname. And because we share the same surname, it does make us blood. If it's a man, that is my brother. If it's a woman, that's my sister. And I will once again say this. When a Zulu man sees a beautiful woman and he's attracted to her, he approaches her, courts her. The first question he's going to ask her, Ntombi, owagwabani. That means, my girl, of which tribe are you? And if she says Dumakute, Oshange, Omdima, Pangandawo, Nzemas, all these other of my clan names, can't touch. That's your sister. So when you see the surname Zuma, Zuma is not the only Zuma we have in South Africa. And not all Zumas know Jacob Zuma, the former president of this country. But they are family without even knowing each other by the virtue of their surname being shared amongst them. Now, Jacinta, she's Ngobese. That's her surname, Ngobese. That's a Ngobese tribe. She belongs and her parents come from the Ngobese, not from the Zuma. But because when her husband, who is a Zuma, saw this beautiful lady, he approached her and asked her, Ntombi owagabani. And then she said, Ngobese. That's when he said, okay, sisters, I like you, I love you, I want to marry you. And she said, yes. And upon marrying her, then they had probably an agreement, because in South Africa, we got 4 marital regimes. Is that what it's called? Marital regimes. We've got community or in community of property, out of community of property, and then there's this other 2 that falls here. I don't want to complicate it. Now, when you marry in community of property, Jacinta would not be Jacinta Ngobese Zuma. She would be Jacinta Zuma. So because I'm assuming, I'm not saying this is what the arrangement is, but to me, it makes sense. And the reason why she's Jacinta Ngobese Zuma is because they may have agreed on the second marital regime, which is out of community of property, a prenup. That means what's yours is yours, what's mine is mine. Upon divorce, you take what you accumulated, and I take what I accumulated in the marriage, and we go our separate ways. Hence, the surname is hyphenated Ngobese Zuma. So learn, research, and before you even speak about South Africa, and I keep telling you this because you always make a fool and embarrass yourselves on a global stage, do your research. You can't speak with your full chest as a spokesperson of the Nigerian foreign minister, and you say, she is the daughter of Jacob Zuma, like in this video. Yes, sis.
The Operation Dudula and also the March for March, all those groups that are being led by different persons. One of these groups is led by even the daughter of the former president Zuma, Jacinta Zuma, who want to be seeing those ring leaders being prosecuted, being stopped from carrying out these derogatory remarks and threatening other African nationals in the streets of either Pretoria, Cape Town, Johannesburg, or other major cities in the country.
Like, seriously, do your research. You are now starting a diplomatic war because Jacob Zuma is the former president. Once a president, always a president. When you address him as Mr. President. So what does that mean? You are provoking a former president who still has diplomatic powers to go to his current sitting president and summon him and say, talk to your friends. Or he can do it himself, because diplomacy will always be diplomacy. Now you speak about Jacob Zuma with such vile and disdain simply because you misunderstood, not even not misunderstood, you misinformed yourself that Jacinta Ngobese Zuma is the daughter of the former South African president, Jacob Zuma. Learn about us before you open your mouth. Learn about South Africans. We are not like y'all, because clearly you guys have lost your own culture. You know why you lost your culture? Because you worship money. You worship all the wrong things that you even forgotten who you are. And that is why your women in South Africa, whom we are going to continue to remind them, that once you marry a man like Miss Ngobese, Jacinta, she's Mrs. Zuma. What did she do when she got married to Mr. Zuma? She moved out of her parents' house. And now she belongs to the Zuma. Just because she belongs to the Zuma doesn't mean she is related or her husband is related to Jacob Zuma, the former president. They are part of one tribe or clan, if you want to call it. Zulu is a nation. It's not a tribe. You guys might call each other tribes there, up there in Nigeria. We are a nation. We got different nations in South Africa. And we pride ourselves with our respective nations. And then we break up into tribes within the Zulu nation. And our supreme leader in the Zulu nation is our Zulu king. He oversees all the Zulu tribes in the Zulu nation. Get it right. Stop lying with your full chest, Nochal. So learn. Imagine a whole spokesperson who's supposed to do their due diligence and a news channel who's supposed to be the lead in this with facts on the table. But no, we are going to go with this lie. Ngobese Zuma, Jacinta, she's not related at all by blood to the Zumas. So learn, guys. Just learn. And as for those Zulu women that marched on the streets of Durban, hambani. Oh, funang pinned. Hambani. Man namachwane, hambani namachwane enu. You don't longer belong here. Ikwa malume la. So malume bengane zenu thina. Don't try and force them down our throat as our own. We are the uncles. Ikubo kwa malume la, akuhlalo kwa malume. Uyavakasha uhambe ubuyele kini. Yes, sis. Let's also address the lie that you guys told the world about South Africa is unaliving Nigerians, South Africa attacking Nigerians. In a situation like this, it calls for emergency, right? Emergency evacuation, emergency everywhere. But tell me why that when the spokesperson for the foreign minister of Nigeria is asked about repatriation of Nigerians back to Nigeria, this is what he says. Find me the emergency or a sense of urgency and emergency in what he's going to say in the next clip.
Any latest update on the repatriation of Nigerians from South Africa? Because we were told 130 Nigerians in South Africa already signed up to be repatriated back home. Are they legitimate migrants or they are illegal aliens, as some people have alleged? But where are we with that? And what is the Nigerian government saying? Because some people have also quoted reports saying that those persons will have to pay for their own passage. How are we handling that?
Yeah. For now, there is no specific timeline for government-sponsored repatriation. But our missions in Johannesburg and Pretoria have been facilitating Nigerians that want to willingly return to the country. Government is assessing the situation, as I said earlier, and if it will warrant moving our people out of the country, definitely we'll do that. We have done that before. I was opportuned or privileged to be in the flights the first flight that brought our nationals back from Johannesburg in 2019. With the aircraft that was provided by Air Peace. I think a very big thanks to Chief Allen Oyema for his contribution towards the welfare and safety of Nigerians. Now, there are two categories of Nigerians that are affected by this crisis, especially those that have indicated interest to return to the country.
Okay, so did you find any sense of urgency, any sense of emergency? If they choose to. All these are wrong words to describe a war zone that is targeting your people. Do you see not only these people are confused, but they're also liars? Because if there was indeed an unaliving and targeting of Nigerians, Air Peace will be like popping every single flight of theirs in Nigeria and even chartering other flights and getting donations or some sort of contribution from other African countries, sending their own airlines to pick up Nigerians and send them back home because they are targeted, they are in danger, their lives are in danger. They debunked their own lie, this government called Nigeria. They debunked their own lie, selling to the world propaganda that you people, seriously, and I've said this before, y'all need help, professional help. And it looks like it needs to start from inside the government. Because how can you lie on another nation like this? Now people have to pay to evacuate. Where's the sense of urgency? So to me, The conclusion is Nigeria hates its own people. It would rather you guys get unalived in South Africa because allegedly we are unaliving Nigerians. Even though this entire show, it's about setting the record straight that no Nigerian has been harmed or unalived. But the spokesperson wants to go further by saying, but the Nigerian businesses in South Africa are compromised. They are harmed. When? When are they harmed? And you are calling for peaceful protesters. Protesting in South Africa is enshrined in our constitution. The moment the government arrests Jacinta Ngobese and the leaders of our marches, they'll be violating the constitution of the republic. And you are calling for them to be arrested and prosecuted. This is not Nigeria, please, where you guys just open fire at your protesters. It's not Nigeria. This is South Africa. We got the rule of law. And the supremacy of our law is our constitution. Ramaphosa cannot nilly-willy just say, arrest them for protesting. Something that is enshrined in our constitution. You are dreaming, wishful thinking. And you guys, your own selves, you debunk your own propaganda. You debunk your own lies. It's insane. So whatever agreements that you are going to have with our government, it's your agreement. We are not owned by our government. Ramaphosa doesn't own us. The Minister of Foreign Affairs doesn't own us. We are not owned by anybody. We are the people, and we are the government. Learn what constitutional democracy is about. We are the people that govern. Let me show you how it works in a constitutional democracy. The power is with the people. So, constitutional approach is bottom up. That means the people at the bottom tell those that they voted for up here what to do and what not to do. It's not up going down, where we get told by the people we voted for what we must do down here. That's South Africa for you. And I must also add, and I've said this before, what South Africans want, South Africans get. So get that sinking through your thick skulls. So never again try to sell a propaganda. We know where this propaganda is being funded from. Because we took a certain nation to a certain court, and now that nation is coming to give you money to propagate against South Africa. We are aware. Just let you know. We are fully aware. Anyways, hence before I go, hence the letter to the African Union. African Union is teethless. It's got no teeth. It's a brotherhood of people that are failures on this continent, except for the Africans in the north of our continent. Your Morocco, your Algerias, your Tunisias, your Egypt. But the rest of y'all, all you do is defend rubbish. That's all that you do. And now you want to impose that onto us? No, it's never going to happen. Not on us. Not us. We got our constitution. Maybe I should show you. This is our constitution. This. And we are allowed to do whatever we want, as long as it's within the bounds of the law. And we are law-abiding citizens. We follow the law. But do not start with us, please. Don't. Anyways, I thought, let's set this record straight and make it as simple and summarized possible so that it is understood. You lost a child, or you're losing a child, or your child is on the streets because of white powder being sold by the husbands of these women, take to the streets and show them what they are doing to you and what they've done to you. So dlala bona thina lana. Anyways, before I get all worked up, I'll see you guys a bit later. Goodbye.